The apps are heating up on MONAD. A lot of people aren't paying attention. So this is Trendify, right? So basically you could trade the hottest narratives before anyone else. It's building on MONAD where you could ride the attention economy. So right here we have in the past 21 days, we've added attention markets on Creatine, Iran, OpenClaw, Jane Street, Lux Maxing, Zach, XBT, Oscars, and many more. Are you paying attention? So you guys see how, for example, Polymarket is so successful, which is prediction markets, right? You could basically bet on anything. You could bet on, Iran striking back at their adversaries. You could bet on the U.S. forces entering Iran. You could bet on sports. You could bet on Trump visiting China, right? Netanyahu resigning or retiring. Fed decisions, right? So basically, polymarket prediction markets have gone exponentially massive, and a lot of people say the crypto space. A lot of the investors in the crypto space went to prediction markets and sports betting, right? So with that being the case, we're not seeing as much retail investors as we saw in the past, especially in what we saw in 2020 to 2021. However, if there are breakout D apps that are built on MONAD, on the blockchains once again, right? Like for example, a Trendify becomes extremely successful, where you could bet on, attention market. So you could bet on the attention of Creatine, like as they showed here. Iran, will the attention go up? You make that bet. If it does, you're successful. If you bet that the intention goes down, you make that bet, you're successful. And obviously, if you make the wrong decisions, you're not successful, right? That's what the space, these are what the type of protocols people in the space are, bullish on, right? And they're looking for new types of different D apps, and Trendo may have something here. It could be something that becomes very extremely successful, and if it does, it'll be extremely bullish for MONAD, similar to what Polymarket did, right? And how successful it became being launched through Matic, right? And again, I think a lot of people may have counted up Pole or Polygon, Matic, etc. I think maybe in the future they do make a comeback, right? Money moves on MONAD, the MONAD MasterCard Partner Program, massive news as we've covered in the previous video, guys. Make sure you check out those previous videos. Imagine paying gas fees on MONAD because the transactions are so cheap. It's so fast, you don't have to worry about gas fees at all here. Imagine paying gas fees, no network fees here with MONAD, guys. It is fantastic what is happening with this project, and I love to see that they're continuously building here. Even if the viewership for the content that I make on MONAD isn't doing well, it's still okay, man. It really is, because eventually I think people will pay more attention to the project, and I think it's going to be one of the successful L1s in the future, right? So I've made my bet here with MONAD, and I think it's going to, eventually grow and continue to grow, right? So right here we have a great piece from Harry Alford on what the next phase of on-chain finance will look like. The DeFi mullet is growing up or longer, right? So what the next phase of on-chain finance won't look like in crypto, or will, and why, that's exactly the point. There's a concept that's been floating around about DeFi circles for a while now, the DeFi mullet. TradFi in the front. Well, recently, as I've been saying multiple times in videos, that the BlackRock ETH staking ETF going live is massive. It's one of the biggest news we've gotten in a long time, and yet people aren't paying attention. It could revive DeFi. It could bring a renaissance in DeFi, guys, and I think that is very possible. So TradFi in the front, DeFi in the back. The idea that the best consumer financial products will wear a familiar, friendly face while running on decentralized infrastructure underneath. While it's an intelligent framing, I think we are entering a new phase. What I'm seeing built on MONAD makes me believe the mullet is about to go mainstream. Interesting. So business in the front, DeFi in the back was once a fun metaphor. Now it's a product roadmap. The neobanks building on high-performance chains aren't experimenting their shipping. What's actually changing? TradFi face or DeFi engine. So clean neobanks, debit card and spend, saving account UI KYC, FX, dashboard analytics, lending, right? DeFi protocols, AV, Morpho, stablecoin settlement rails, on-chain yield, high throughput with the L1 MONAD, composability or composable liquidity pools, and smart contract execution. That's pretty interesting stuff here. So the honest story of DeFi's first decade is that the technology outpaced the experience. The yields were real, the composability was genuinely novel, but the user interface was a wall. Wallets, gas, slippage, warnings, bridge nightmares for 99% of people who just want to save an account and that actually earn something. It was too much friction. Neobanks changed retail banking by removing friction from the traditional system. They didn't teach people about Swift rails or correspondent banking. They just made it fast and clean. Same playbook is now being applied to DeFi, and the infrastructure is finally ready to support it. Okay, so he's he has a thesis here, which is a very great thesis. I have the same thesis as well, that DeFi will make a comeback and projects like MONAD will benefit, a lot from that. I love that, man. So where is this heading? The most excited neobanks are the ones asking how to explain DeFi to our users. There's the one asking how to make this invisible for yield-bearing accounts, instant credit lines, seamless FX. Most won't be branded as crypto products despite being powered by on-chain liquidity protocols behind the scenes. The most important DeFi products of the next 3 years will be the ones where users know they're using DeFi, or never know, I should say. So basically frictionless DeFi. You don't have to worry about, I have to click this for staking or click this for liquidity pools. I just put the money there and then boom, you earn DeFi. Or at least they don't feel like DeFi. Understood, man. For that to work, two things need to run in parallel: fast, reliable execution, infrastructure, battle-tested liquidity pools, protocols like AV, Compound, and their successors aren't code. They're primitives when neobanks want to embed lending and deep liquidity. So he's going into it here. I don't want the video to go on for too long. The stack is coming together, high throughput. Okay, so this is where MONAD is in, right? This is where he breaks down the MONAD side of this DeFi renaissance. So what's emerging out of MONAD is the cohesive infrastructure stack for the DeFi mullet. 400 millisecond block time, instant block time, 800 millisecond finality, 10,000 transactions per second, insane, and 100% EVM compatible. Full EVM compatibility, battle-tested DeFi primitives, a growing cohort of fintech builders, and explicitly targeting the neobank integration use case. So the EVM compatibility piece is underrated from a fintech perspective. Most of the teams building neobank adjacent products are already in the Ethereum ecosystem. They have smart contract audits, wallet integrations, and tooling. Deploying to the new chain usually means rebuilding or porting everything. MONAD's composability means business can go live on a much faster network with significantly less additional engineering work. Okay, the time to market advantage is real. And what comes next? In the next 12 to 18 months, we'll see fintech products launch through DeFi, and that's where the DeFi mullet was always a good idea. The infrastructure to make things real is here now, and MONAD is shaping up the settlement layer for a meaningful chunk of its to get it built. I see. The opportunity for neobanks and fintechs isn't to become DeFi companies. It's about using DeFi infrastructure the same way Amazon Web Services are as reliable, scalable backend. I see. The mullet is growing up and it's starting to look a lot like the future of consumer finance. Great article indeed. This is why you got, a highlight from the official MONAD X account. That was a great article. I didn't ever read through the whole thing, skipped over some points, but I think you guys get the gist of why MONAD will be successful in the DeFi arena as well. And again, a lot of people aren't paying attention to that. When people, crypto is going to be frictionless in the future, similar to how stocks are, where, people aren't necessarily invested into Tesla, but you see them buying, Tesla cars, they're using Starlink, etc. They're using Grok, right, etc. So crypto will eventually become like that, where, there's people that talk about the stocks or the coins or the tokens or the infrastructure, and then there's consumers that just use the protocols, right? And again, nice write-up. I think DeFi on MONAD will be, fantastic. I think this DeFi mullet thesis will definitely play out. We also have some TA from Aromat. Technically, we are in the same channel ranging between 2 and 5, 2 cents, 5 cent. Key level for today is 4 cent. We need to break above that or hold above 2 cents. 30x from a full cycle capsule, potentially for MONAD. 30x, 30x from a full cycle capsule. I mean, it's possible, but there's a full, he did a full breakdown. Obviously, we still have to break through the ICO price 5 cent for MONAD, sitting at 2 cent right now. Again, market conditions are not the best, but we're still pushing through, guys. So MONAD, in my opinion, still sitting nicely here. Good time to DCA. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, as always. After that article, I think that is a great use case for MONAD. We've already seen the stablecoin adoption really taking off as well. So I think this is going to be a great institutional chain as well, guys. I think this is going to be a great chain for TradFi investors and fintech investors. MONAD, right? So MONAD, I say MONAD. It's fine. I know it's MONAD, but I say MONAD. So as always, none of this is financial advice. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, join my Discord, follow me on X, and subscribe to my Clips channel. Really helps out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Never invest more than you're willing to lose. I'll catch